Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for joining me again. And today we're going to be doing part 2 of our tournament that has all the main fighting games that are wrapped up, smashing against each other head to head in these different arenas and genres. Yesterday we saw in my story and character portion that Mortal Kombat took the cake, just slightly over Soul Calibur. As much as it pains me to say that, and probably you guys, I'm trying to be as objective with this as possible. Today's going to be based on gameplay mechanics, and let's see if we have another upset. Once again, the contestants in this game are, in this tournament, are Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, Street Fighter, Tekken, and Dead or Alive. So those are the 5 games that are going head-to-head. I think are the 5 most robust and well-known of the fighting game genre. We're not, again, including like more niche games, so we're just going with these. And today is going to be mechanics. Now, when I say mechanics, I mean fighting aesthetics, like how smooth and how fast-paced and how fun and enjoyable the system is, the defensive capabilities that each has, the offensive capabilities that each has, the way that you can actually get around things, and cheese is going to be included in this. And things of that nature. So what is the most overall best enjoyable, I guess, fighting game engine, let's just say. So we're going to start from the worst, which does not mean bad. It just means that out of these 5 top contenders, I think this does the least effective job when it comes to making an enjoyable experience in the actual battle mechanics itself, which is what these games are all based around, right? So out of all of them, fighting-wise, I think my least favorite is probably Street Fighter. A lot of people are going to be upset with me. Street Fighter is one of the biggest fighting games in the world. There's tournaments all around it. The thing is for me personally, whenever I am playing Street Fighter, even when I know these combos that I'm getting into, the offensive capabilities and defensive capabilities that are at my disposal, it's the least fun to me. It's the most linear, straightforward thing. There's not a lot of area to get around, so we're not moving around an arena or a 2.5D space similar to Soul Calibur or Tekken or Dead or Alive. It's pretty much just like standardized 1v1, hopping over. Same with Mortal Kombat for this. It's the least compelling for me to play. A lot of characters like feel same-ish, if that makes any sense to you. Like, we're talking about the Shoto characters in particular, I guess. So, like, if you're straight up doing, like, Hadokens or Hapsudokens or, you know, Shoryukens or anything that they can do, a lot of it can feel samey when you got matchups with, like, Oni and Akuma and, like, Gouken and, like, Ryu and Sakura and Dan and Ken. There's just a lot of sameness going on. And I think other games do a better job of varying up the gameplay a little bit. And those quarter circles, man, they kind of can kill your thumbs on the D-pad if you're trying to be technical. And if you're just rolling the stupid analog stick, like, you're not going to pull them off as well as you want to, especially when you're getting into the more technical variations of those moves, like the EX moves and things of that nature. So I do find Street Fighter enjoyable. It is a game that I love playing, and I've poured many, many countless hours into it. But I think when it comes to the head-to-head of all these different games, it is, in my opinion, that I think that this is probably the least fun to play and mechanically the least sound. That may stink, and I'm having a hard time looking at the camera because it's hard to actually say this, but I'm trying to be as objective as I possibly can with the experience that I have with all these games. Again, your experience may be different. So that's number 5, right? So number 4, gameplay mechanic-wise, I am probably going to go ahead and I'm going to say Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is a little bit better with the sameness. Like, there's a lot more variety, especially in the new trilogy. But a lot of the moves are not as fluid as you would see in fighters that I would like to see, right? So we get a lot of, like, combos and, like, good starters, and it's very good for people that are, like, really sound in the game to hop in and, like, mess people up in, but you have to memorize a lot of technical inputs and things of that nature. So if you get, like, somebody who's like a casual or somebody jumping in for the first time, it's going to be really hard for them to pick up and play. And that, for me, goes into it, right? So I like the gameplay style. Sometimes it sucks because some characters can get are not as balanced as other characters, I believe. So like when I had a character, for example, like Spawn that was released, I was like, this is gonna be my main. He is my main, but man, he is hard to learn. Like he does not have the capabilities of some of the other fighters, especially some of the other easier to use fighters, such as like Scorpion or like Liu Kang. Another example of that is Jade. Like Jade is probably the main girl that I use, even though Melina is my favorite. When Melina came out, she's a lot harder to use than Jade is. That may be just me, that may be just my personal experience, but this is about me, so this is why it's in number 4 for me. I do like that they have move variations, so like you can kind of customize and set up your moves, but this goes into the gimmicks part, which would be in part 3. So when we're going just based off like the character roster with their set moves and the way that they are and the way that like they actually play, I think it's the slowest of the fighters, since we're not counting Virtual Fighter, because if we were counting Virtual Fighter, that would definitely be the last. But it's definitely a lot slower than these other fighters. It's less fluid. It can feel mechanical or like not as organic or free-flowing as I would like it to be, if that makes sense to you. But it does have good defensive capabilities. I mean, this is a series that really knows what it's doing. It's a very technical game, so if like you're very well mastered in it, you're going to have a blast if that's the kind of game that entices you. For me, I love playing Mortal Kombat. It's probably the one that I play the most besides Soul Calibur. But while I do enjoy it, and it took the cake yesterday for story and characters, I think it's going to fall into the number 4 spot here today in mechanics and battle feeling. Alright, so now that we got that out of the way and everyone is disliking and clicked off of this video, we're going to go into number 3. Now this doesn't mean mid-tier, it just means this is in order of appearance for my personal taste, right? Number 3, when it comes to fighting game engine, and this may shock you, is Soul Calibur. So I fought with myself for this a long time, like whether I like Soul Calibur more or Tekken more, which is, I guess, kind of a hint for number 1, what I think the best game engine is. But when it comes to Soul Calibur, the problems that you have against Tekken, why Tekken edges out for number 2 on this list, is balance. Mainly, I mean, some of the weapons are a lot longer than other weapons. They can close distance faster. Some of them are really deadly when they're up close. You get stuck into a corner, and a lot of this is based on meta, right? I really love the free flow of both Tekken and Soul Calibur. How we're on that 2.5D plane, so you have like the 8-way run with like Soul Calibur, and Tekken has the sidestepping and things of that nature. So they're both really good with defensive and offensive capabilities, but I think even though Tekken flows less than Soul Calibur does, I think the overall feel when it comes to matchups is a little bit more balanced in Tekken. Some people may scoff at that, but I feel like there's a lot of defensive capabilities in Tekken that edges out on Soul Calibur, and I think why my opinion is probably hurt the worst in this is probably Reversal Edge. Reversal Edge really slows down the gameplay and the combat. It can really take you out of it. I know it's easy to avoid if like you know what you're doing and you know the character and their hitboxes, but Reversal Edge is probably the worst incarnation of anything in the engine that Soul Calibur's ever put forth, in my personal opinion. And I would like to see it go, or see it nerfed and actually cost meter, not gain meter, because it's too cheesy and it is way too easy to exploit, especially for newcomers. So that is why Soul Calibur is number 3 and Tekken is in number 2. If I wanted to add some more stuff about Tekken being in number 2, the combat, there are some annoying things in the combat for Tekken that's been added, right? Like super armor and stuff like that. But I mean, again, this is stuff that's like very easily avoidable. Plus there's also counters and stuff like that. I know there's counters and perfect guards and stuff like that in Soul Calibur as well, but in Tekken it just feels like it's a lot easier to get around certain sticky situations as opposed to getting stuck in a combo and having to reversal edge your way out of it, or having to use a just guard or a guard impact or a soul charge or something like that. I think that they're both equal in my eyes, and in part due to like how I feel playing them. I think they both are very free-flowing. They're very good engines to work with, and I love playing both of these games, but Tekken's definitely number 2 for me. So this may surprise you, but I think for gameplay-wise, number 1 for me is probably Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive is the most consistent in its gameplay throughout the games that it's been in. It's very fast-paced and free-flowing. Even if you're using like the heavier characters, you still feel like there's a constant flow to the battle. There's the arena is open for your pleasure to like kind of get in there without being an arena open fighter. A lot of the moves are very well linked together with combos, very fast paced. The punches and kicks have depth and hit behind them. They're very fast. The countering mechanic is probably my favorite defensive maneuver in any of these games. I mean, the fact that you can, like, it's hard to pull off if you want to get it done right, unless you're just doing like a regular mid. If you want to pull off that counter, man, it works really well. Plus there's like a tag system in the game, to which you can actually tag in your buddy and you guys can kind of do like a combo attack together to tag in your new opponent. That's really visually pleasing and it's really nice as well. There is that the ultimate move that you do when like your health is in the red and you hold back and charge your charge attack and it turns into like a little cinematic attack. I think that's beautifully well done. The kicks, the flips, like just the way all the characters move, except for like Alpha 152 because she's like super cheap. We call her Helicopter Lady when I play. But out of all the games, I think it's my favorite to play because it's the most fun, in my opinion. You may differ from this, and I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. But when it comes to me, what takes the cake out of this tournament, when it comes to battle mechanics and actual gameplay itself, is Dead or Alive. Now, as much as I am happy that this won because I love it, like, I mean, Dead or Alive 6 is really hard to play because of, like, the microtransactions and because of all the theft that occurs in that game, but the main one that I still play is Dead or Alive 5 Last Round and Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore. Those are the two that I play the most and the two that I recommend the most. I really do like Dead or Alive 4, but it's going to be hard for some of you to pick up because it's Xbox 360 exclusive. So while you can play it on Xbox One in the series, it's a little bit easier to find the other iterations of the titles. But with that being said, guys, we're going to bring this video to a close. Thank you for watching. Join the Discord and let me know what you think in your comment section down below. Please subscribe for more awesome content. And we're going to get into the next video on Friday. Like I always said, I love it. Thank you. And thank you.